Welcome to another Trade Talk video. In this video, I will talk about how to find trade locations. We are looking at the chart of Disney. As you can see on Disney here, the recent price action, notice that it put in a higher low. And in addition to that, it broke this higher low, this pivot, and back tested down here and also got close to here. So basically, we could look at this as a little bit of a double bottom break. And then right now, it seems like it's coming up to this resistance here. So the question is, would it continue to break out of this resistance and move up? And if so, what is the sum of the level to keep an eye on? So I'm going to go do my analysis with the aid of the volume profile and show you how I identify those levels and come up with possible price scenario for me to keep an eye on. Now I'm going to zoom in this area here because I'm more interested in this price swing down here to see where are the buyers or the seller and the sellers. In other words, what are the potential support and resistance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into this area here, and we will put up a volume profile. So I'm going to put up use the fixed volume profile. First, initially, I'm going to just look at this particular swing. So I'm just going to go and identify all these, prominent low volume node and also the high volume node. So let me start off with the low volume node, right? And I'm using the blue color for that. So I'm not even looking at the prices. I'm just looking at the volume profile here. And I just ballparking some of the numbers and not trying to find exact level location. So I'm just gonna go to it. And yeah, sometimes it might look overwhelming, with too many of these lines there. So we're gonna go back and readjust them later on to eliminate them on some of them that we do not see, supportive of the price action. Now I'm going to do the high volume node. So we got this right here, and I'm going to change the color here. I'm going to call this resistance. I use the color red. And here, so I'm just going to go do these high volume node. And I'm going to come back to this one here later. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because we have a name for that, right? We call that composite point of control. Because based on this swing down here, this is the price level that has the highest traded volume here. So in other words, it is one of the most acceptable price there. And I'm going to label this composite point of control. So I know it is one of the highest volume on this swing here. Now notice that this profile is only set up to at this low here. So we could see some of the future price action that already occurred. And you see how respectful some of these levels are. Right? You see that the price came up, bump into a little bit of a resistance here. Right? We see a little bit of a resistance here. Then it moved above that, went to this high volume node after a little chop, and came up to this low volume node and got rejected, and came back down here, got a little chop before it came down and retest this low volume node. So you can see how respectful those are. And then it bounces back up. It moved to this low volume node the next time and came up to this low volume node and encountered some rejection. And then came back down to this area here, which is this low volume node, and found rejection on the upside, right to the upside. And then came up to this high volume node and got rejected, got some resistance here and pushed back. And notice that it came down to this high volume node and found a little bit of a support, bounce around, then come back down and test this low volume node once again and got rejected back upward. So now we are sitting here at this high volume node, a potential resistance area. So the key question that we want to answer is, will this break out? And if it does, what level should we keep an eye on? And if it comes down, what level should we look for potential bounce? Or if it doesn't bounce, then what level we could expect Disney will go back down to? So those are the questions that we were going to answer by looking at this composite profile here and all these high volume node and low volume node. Now let me go and erase these, and then we're going to zoom back in. And now I'm going to, since we already have some price action here, come all the way up. So I'm going to update this profile and to include the recent price that went to since the low back here in August. So you can see that the profile have changed slightly, but not much, right? You see the low volume node is still there, high volume node is still there, right? So right now we got a little cluster here of these levels. So that might be a little bit too close. And I'm gonna go and use these right here, these levels here instead of this right here. Now, if I'm wrong, then I, basically just wrong by a, maybe a point or so. So we're basically looking for these level now. And here, and if I were to come up with some sort of scenario, right, to see where the price might go. First of all, in auction, we're basically looking for the price to go from one low volume node to another low volume node to this distribution. So we got buyer come up, then we got buyer and seller in agreement, and then we got less and less buyer want to buy. So you got, so that's where we get these taper volume on the upper edge and taper volume on the lower edge. So that's basically what we want to see. And the key thing is we want to look for the level where we could see a directional change. What I mean by that is, at what level that we expect the price will make one directional move or the other. Certainly not in a high volume node, because a high volume node is where a lot of the buyer and seller is in agreement. So you're going to see a lot of chop. So the prominent area to look for this directional change is near the area where we have certain volume drop or low volume low, or where we have all of a sudden we have a lot of volume and become very much lower volume, and we call these edges or ledges. Okay, volume ledge or volume edge. So basically right now we see that there is a little bit of what I call sometimes a volume dent. So this is the level that we want to look at. If the price continue to stay above this level, then I'm expecting the auction to go auction up to this level. So right now it's sitting right here at this high volume node. Definitely I'm not going to go in and initiate a trade. But if the price come down here, and I will be looking to see will there be a bounce. And if there's a bounce, then I will look for a setup to go long, and then look forward to possibly next time maybe chop around here and then move up to this high volume node and into this low volume node. So those are the levels that I'm going to look for in the near term for the upside potential. Now, let's say, for example, it come down here and it breaks and dip below. Then now I'm looking for the auction to auction down to this area, because right now it broke this and the directional is on the down bias. Then I'll be looking for the down move and come down here. So that is one possible near-term downside scenario. But since I'm looking at the price move on the upside, because I'm saying that, hey, look, it made a higher low and it broke this pivot and it came down and back tested. So I think that there's a good possibility you're going to break up, toward the higher level. So that's why I'm interested in looking for potential long setup and the level that I want to keep an eye on for those setup. So right now, I'm not going to look for setup here. I like to see it come down to this level near 95 and then look for a long setup to come up and possibly get up to this, composite point of control. And let's say it did not come down and continue to move up, then the next level that I want to look for a long setup is right here at this low volume node, because if this thing auction up here and it want to continue to move up, I expect this thing to come up and start auctioning this way. So that's why I want to look for a directional move at this level here. Now, maybe it will encounter resistance and it will decide to pull back, and then it chop around here and then come back down here. Then once again, I will be looking for possible long setup to move back up. So you see how I come up with different scenarios to look for level, we're going to start focusing on long setup to go long. Right now, it is not the location that I want to take trades on, but it is a location for me to start looking to see what they're going to do. You know, come up here and get set up, or come down here and get set up. So that's how I use the volume profile to help me establish various support and resistance level, and also the key thing is trade location. If you have any question, post your question in the comment below. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of my contents, go visit my newsletter at Substack. I have placed the link in the description below. Help me promote this video on YouTube by clicking the like, and if you are new to this channel, click the subscribe button to support this channel. Good luck on your trading, and I see you in my next video.